So I would like to start with a small introduction first. Yeah,
1 minute, Jatin, one sec.
um,
Just give it a minute.
yes, yes.
We are still a minute
Okay, okay.
before time. In the panel, I have Manisha Khanna. I'm sure you messaged her and connected with her. Manisha is the biggest brand ambassador for Good School Alliance. She is the real bundle of energy that peps all of us. Then we have Kunal, who is a standing stalwart. He is, I would say, a co-founder to My Good School, which was a precursor to Good School Alliance, because Kunal was the guinea pig whom we experimented all our technology and learning on. So he grew up in the school where we were building My Good School. So that's Kunal's backdrop. Then I have Meenakshi,
Oh, wow.
who is Meenakshi is now trying to implement what we did successfully in 10 years at the Fab India School in a school near Dehradun at the Arthur Foot Academy. So she's got a little school, and it's a very fresh approach because it's a new school, it's a new village, it's something new we are trying to do. Take up a village school and create a school of world class from that village school. So what we succeeded beautifully with Fab India, we are trying to replicate in the Arthur Put Academy.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so we have some
Great.
attendees. I have Sukhpreet.
Yes, sir.
Of course, Sukhpreet, you know, we have Punita, we have Isha, we have Lakshmi. So people will come in. Uh,
Yes, sir.
I think you can start. Yeah, we should be in
Okay,
contact.
so just give me a second. My guitar is quite far.
Yeah, yeah, just get hold of it. Get all your house in order.
Okay. So, yeah, good evening, everyone. So, my name is Jatin, and I'm a full-time music educator at Gyanshri School. So, I will just keep this introduction very short, brief. So, I'm a multi-instrumentalist with the guitar as my primary instrument. As my passion for music grew, I gradually explored other instruments, and there was a particular reason behind exploring the different instruments because at the end, the instruments also serve a very particular purpose if we try to relate them particularly with some musical aspects. For example, if I will ask from anyone in the panel, like how many different categories are there for the musical instruments? I want to see if anyone will be able to answer that.
I'm going to take a
How
shot.
many different categories can be there?
Now, this is a difficult answer, but my answer to it is different. That every
Any instrument that you can
civilization,
name?
every culture, every society has an instrument. So it's perhaps
Of
endless.
course. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, the the quality of sonicity, if I may say, or sonar, is there in every element made out by God. So whether it's wood
Exactly.
or it's hollow or it's metal, every element has music in it. So it's the resonance we hear.
Everything has its own
So
sound.
when you ask me a question, so I said everything resonates, including you and me with our vocal cords. So
Exactly. Yes.
whole
That is
idea of
also a part
meeting,
of the sound.
yeah, whole idea of meeting today was to explore how it starts with thought, and then the thought replays
Exactly.
our action on any instrument. And in the
Hmm.
process, we pick up words and we convert words into music. So over to you.
Sir, actually, for today, I mean, since it was there in my mind, like it's my first session, so I just wanted a very small introduction that is inclined totally towards the music,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that
I
we all can
appreciate
start with the same page.
100%. All
So
your
I,
After that,
I
I'm going to add a lot of different things that will be related to the education, that will be related to the poetry, literature, everything. I have a plan for everything, but for now, I just wanted a this small thing like everyone should know these basics about the music so that we can actually try to relate everything later on in the
fantastic.
sessions.
Give
so
Meenakshi the
Justin,
word.
Yes,
I
yes.
think I can't name all of them. There's a percussion.
Of course, yeah.
There
Percussion
is
is a category.
string instrument.
String
Then I don't know
categories,
what
yeah.
would you call a harmonium or a piano to be what sort of instrument you would call those.
Actually, harmonium,
So
these instruments come in the category of the keyboard one because harmonium,
keyboard, yeah,
piano, everyone has, every
they
instrument
all
has a
have
key.
keys. Yeah. So
Yeah. But
and
the
it says
question is, harmonium works on the like harmonium works on the principle of a wind. Like we have to pump wind inside it.
yeah.
So, are you going to put that into the wind category, or you are going to put that in a keyboard category?
Me, I think I would put that in the keyboard category, though it has both the elements. But essentially, when we are playing it, we are
Exactly.
using
That's
the
the that's
keyboard.
the reason why we keep that instrument in the keyboard category, by the way. So
Yeah.
yeah, three main categories are there. Yes, sir.
Just watch the chat. You have interesting responses. Keep an eye on the chat also.
Yes,
Don't
yes, sir.
get carried away by the panelists because in the chat people are putting things down. So someone wrote woodwinds, bass, keyboard. Lakshmi wrote.
And I can only see the question answer panel here. There's a chat,
There's a host and panelist. Convert that to hosts and panelists.
host and panelist.
Well, I read it out
Speakers.
for you. Lakshmi said woodwinds, bass, keyboards.
That's nice. So, how will I just convert that, by the way?
If you go to chats, there is a blue 2 at the bottom.
There's only question answer option given here.
Well,
Chats
yeah,
is no.
well,
Oh
you know
yeah,
what?
okay, got it, got it, got
Yeah,
it.
you'll
Perfect.
get, you'll get.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Woodwind, brass category, keyboard category. Amazing. So yeah.
Hmm.
So there are actually three main categories we generally discuss in the classroom. By the way, there are four categories, but the fourth one, the brass category, we don't discuss about that a lot because that thing will become like quite complicated for the master class, especially when we are trying to understand the basics. So three main categories like are there, like string, percussion, and wind instruments. But there is actually a purpose. Like if you really want to explore the rhythms, then there is always a suggestion and there is always a recommendation by the professionals. Like go for any instrument that use a percussion. Okay, so drum kit is there. That was my main purpose to learn the drum kit because the percussion aspect is there. But if I will ask, then what is a percussion? Percussion is a beat. It's a clap. It can be anything. And like the sir said that everything has its own sound. So of course, if I will clap like this, then it's also a type of percussion. But can I say that my clap is like a music right now? It will be really difficult to say that because if I will try to clap randomly, that is just a sound, that is not a music. So how music actually works? And if we will talk about the music, then it actually works through the patterns because there is always a pattern. Okay, once you make a pattern and you will keep repeating it, then it will shape like a music. For example, if I will clap like this, that is just a clap. But if I will just continue the pattern, same way, then it will start taking a shape of a music. The same thing applies here in a guitar also. So, for example, I hope my guitar is also audible to you, like clearly. So, any pattern if I will try to come up with. So, it's doing nothing. I'm just taking one pattern and I'm just keep repeating it. So that thing is actually taking a shape of music. But yeah, apart from that, I actually got out of the things that I planned. It is just taking a different shape. This give me a second. I just want to share a screen also. So there are a few topics that I had planned to discuss. Just let me share my screen. I hope my screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, please.
Okay, perfect. So by the way, today's topic that was chosen was discovering music. So, okay. So I would like to ask how many of you listen to music and why?
Then my answer is simple. It's therapeutic.
Why do we listen to music, by the way?
Yeah, it's therapy. It's a therapy for me. It works as
It's therapy for you.
yeah.
Perfect.
For me, it
Anyone
controls
else?
my blood pressure.
Okay. Anyone else with any other suggestion?
You can write in the chat box, please. Yeah, now you're getting the answers in your chat box.
Yes, sir. Okay, all the instruments can you put under the seven? Okay, mood regulation, stress reduction, yes, enhancing performance, connecting with emotions. So, um, by this, we can clearly see that as a different, I mean, every human being is a different, by the way, and there are chances that the music serves a different purpose for me and it can serve a different purpose for you. Some people try to listen to music because they try to focus on something. Some people try to listen to the music because they want to enjoy the sound. But some people are quite curious about the music, so they keep collecting the different genres. They keep collecting the different styles of music in their library. I know people who are still doing it, and they are trying to come up with some fusion stuff. And that thing is also working really well. But yeah, so there can be n number of reasons why we listen to the music: to relax, to focus, and but by the way, do you think that we are consuming music in some way or other? Like, apart from relaxing, apart from like focusing on anything, how we are consuming music, how we are using it in different scenarios. So, by the way, few years ago, this thing happened with me. I was in an interview. It was a panel interview in Ambedkar University, Delhi. When I was in a college, I was trying to apply for a master's, and when I was sitting in a panel interview, I was my graduation was in political science. So I thought that I should continue that political science also because I was really interested in that subject. That subject was really interesting to me. But the thing is, when the time came, when I was sitting in a panel interview, it was the time of COVID also. Like COVID was about to end, and it was an online meeting. So when I was there in a meeting, the drum kit was behind me. I was sitting in my room. I mean, the same room, but drum kit was there in a different area of the room. So the whole discussion was more about the music instead of the political science. Instead of asking the questions related to the political science, they first asked me this one thing like, "What do you exactly do?" And when the instruments were there in the room, then the whole discussion started like, why you are doing the music and why you want to learn the political science. Apart from that, if I will give you a work to connect music with the political science, will you be able to do it? And that thing actually, you know, like it was really interesting topic for me. And it was a part of my subject also. But if I will ask this thing right now in the meeting, how can you relate the music in different scenarios of your life? Like, can you apply the same thing in your own subject? Because I know in this meeting, in this panel, there are people who are educators, full-time educators. There are chances that students are also here, or they might also be present here. But I really want to know, have you ever tried to do this thing, like applying the music with your own subject? Perfect. Yes, integration is the need of the hour. Yes. Okay. People listening to streaming services and running live events. Perfect. So if I will ask, Isha Kashyap has replied, yes. Yes. So Isha, how did you try to use the music in with your own subject? I don't know what subject do you teach, but I would really like to know like how you have applied that thing. Like any poem is there. Yeah, of course. The poems, if we will talk about the poetry, then of course there's a kind of a rhythm that is followed. I'm okay. Apart from that, let's see.
Isha, you may talk if you wish. If anyone wants to talk, we'll be happy to open the talk. Isha, you've been permitted to talk, please. You can talk.
Okay, she's traveling.
Okay.
No problem, Isha. Okay, so let's see. Music and emotions. If I will talk about the topic music and emotions, then yeah, of course, we all know that music is directly related to the emotion. And okay, Meenakshi Prasad raised hand. Yes, Meenakshi.
See, I haven't taught through music, but we had one of these professional development programs when an educator came to tell us that we could teach any subject just by strumming a guitar. Okay, nobody really tried it, but that was his take, that we can make the lesson very interesting if we could just learn to strum the guitar and sing whatever we had to say. Of course,
Oh,
I
that's
mean,
nice.
so I just thought I'll share. That's it.
No, that's really nice that you have shared that because even I have never seen anyone using the guitar to just teach any subject or just to make anything like very interesting in this way. But I have a question like which subject was that guitarist tried to teach?
He himself was a maths teacher, but he, like, I'm a history teacher, I'm a social science teacher. He said no, you can teach it in your you can teach your subject as well. But I could not imagine doing something as ridiculous as that. I mean, I felt ridiculous doing it. It's not that it has to be ridiculous, that I would be singing and I would be talking about Akbar's religious policy in by strumming a guitar. Okay, so it
Actually, you
seems a
know,
little too far fetched
there's
for
this,
me.
yeah,
But
I can understand
but
that, there is this
but
one thing, yeah, oh, sorry,
no, that's okay. But I think his basic intention was to grab the attention of the students. Basically,
exactly.
teaching is all about that. So
Yeah, this is a very important part of the teaching, but actually, this is a kind of a technique that I also saw in some TED Talks. Like when it was really difficult for a student to memorize a very big answer, then what they tried, na, they tried to make a rap out of it, like a hip hop. Because generally, if you will see that in the hip hop, they use a lot of words, and they're actually using the words like a percussion. Behind them the drum beat is also there, but the words the way they are structuring them, it's like following the particular rhythm, the rhythm that we study actually in the drums. So yeah, I have seen children who try this concept in order to memorize a lot of different things. Okay. So if I will talk about the music and emotions, like of course we all perceive music in a different manner, in a different form. But one thing is common that I can say, that we all feel something while listening to the music. We all have different perception about the music also. Like we might be having a different definition of it. Some people say that music is a kind of a language that is said through the sounds only. But some people find the music in the words also, because I know there is this one person. He was also in a medical university, so he tried to find this, rhythm in the poetry. I mean, I was not too much into literature at that time, and I'm still trying to explore a lot of things in poetry and literature. But at that time, he told me like, this is a kind of a subject he's working on. This is a kind of a topic he's working on. So yeah, it's a really good thing. Like people have started experimenting a lot of things together. So by the way, music and emotion. So more vividly than words alone. Yeah, positive emotions like happiness. So yeah, there are a lot of different emotions that can be expressed through the music. And by the way, initially, if I will talk about the classical music, there were some limitations. Like every emotion, it was not possible. But if I will talk about the jazz music, I have never seen any jazz player using a simple tone in the music. Every time they are using any sound in the music, it always sound like, exotic, I can say. They add so many notes that are not even meant to be played together, but still they are playing that. Theoretically, they are not meant to be played together because they are creating so much dissonance, unpleasant thing to your ears. But once they have started using it, then it became a part of a culture. And that's how the jazz language is also developed. So, yeah, negative emotions are also there. And by the way, the information I'm sharing about the jazz, it's just a very small chunk I have shared, because there are a lot of different theories about the jazz. Even jazz and bebop, these are the styles that people are actually scared to start studying, because it's totally based on the improvisation. No sheet music you will get. So um, I can clearly say that there is no safe zone to play any jazz or bebop. You are supposed to do the mistakes. And there is one jazz player who actually told me a few years ago that if you make one mistake, repeat it twice. People will think that it's a part of your composition. And this thing actually worked well for me. So yeah, Negative emotions like sadness, melancholy, longing, nostalgia are blended and transformative emotions. It totally depends on the kind of a sound that you are using with the music. Okay, but I don't want to jump into the technical part of it. Suggested listenings, I can say, because I hope that you all might be having some list of songs that you listen. But if I would like to know, like, what kind of songs do you guys listen? Can you just put that in the chat box? And what that song makes you feels like? Like, what emotions do you feel by that particular song? Okay, no reply, no problem. So, actually, if I will talk about some musical pieces here, let me just open a YouTube link and then I will share my screen. Okay, if I will make you listen to this music, I hope the audio will be shared. Share sound. Oh, no option is there. There is no option to share sound. Can you hear that?
There should be an option to share the sound. When you are sharing, share screen, that time
Yeah.
on the right side, if you see, you'll get the option.
Yeah, I can see those options, but I
I
am
think
unable
Sandeep
to
sir
select
is
those
sharing.
options. Uh,
Yeah.
screen two, screen one.
You should just choose your sound input.
Sound input I have chosen,
Yeah,
but
go to your
yes, sir.
audio, and from your audio, you will have select input. So whatever you play there will get played in.
If you're not getting an option, you can share the
I
link
can
with
share the
me. I'll
link
share
right
it.
now. I will just share the link.
Yeah, please share. I'll do that. Have you sent it on
Yes,
chat?
in the chat, I just shared the link. And Manisha Khanna.
First. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I just shared the link right now and it's not taking the link. What's happening?
Send it to me on WhatsApp.
Wait, chat option is here through WhatsApp. Okay, I'll just share it through the WhatsApp.
But the link will be posted. No problem. You send it
That's
to me
it.
by WhatsApp.
That's it. In your chat, there's a two
Yes,
options
sir.
from host and panelist. Choose Manisha Khanna and send it to her.
Sir, I have chosen the option right now. Oh, now it's shared.
Yeah.
Did you get the link, ma'am?
Yes, I have received the link. Just give me a minute.
Perfect.
Sir, sharing the sound somehow it is not getting clicked
Hmm.
on the option.
We could perhaps all use a link to listen to it in our own phones.
Absolutely, the link is there. That's the best solution.
The link is there. Yes, we can use that then.
I'll play. Okay, I'm playing it. You should be able to. It plays beautifully straight from the chat.
Is it audible?
Oh,
No.
Somehow the sharing of sound is not available. Okay, you all. Mr. Jatin has already shared the link. We all can hear it directly.
what I can do, I can just play this through my cell phone here.
Yeah, that is also a good option.
Okay, if I'm going to play, I will just play this music here, please. Everyone, listen to it very carefully. I hope you all are getting the sound from here. By the way, you all can check that link out later. Also, I will share other links also that I was supposed to use in this class. I will share that link also. Please check out these two links. One is The Swan by Saint Scenes. It is one of the popular pieces, and apart from that, if that piece worked here, then I would have asked few questions about it. But um, no problem. Let's continue with the next topic then. Okay. Okay, there were a few suggested listenings that I was thinking to share. Beethoven's Symphony Number 5, Ode to Joy. It's for joyous and uplifting music. If you really want to explore like how joyous and uplifting music sounds like, or the elements inside the music that is making it joyous. Okay, and why I'm sharing this thing, because I actually use this thing a lot in my classroom. When the children enter the classroom, I just make them close their eyes and I just play some piece for them. And I ask you questions like, what are you hearing? Like, what instrument is there that you can hear? And what this music is making you feel like? Or apart from that, like, can you come up with any story in your head by listening to the music only? And after that, of course, children are like just come up with a lot of different ideas. But I would like to continue with the next topic right now. And here, yeah. But the question is how music and emotions work, and as an educator, why it's important for us to know. And if I will ask, if anyone can share any thought like why it's important for us to know how music and emotions work. You all can answer, yeah, Happy by Pharrell Williams, and a beat and actually song about the music, finding joy in everyday life. Of course, yeah, Sufi songs make me think, yeah, Sufi songs, because, but have you ever tried to think like what's inside that song that is making you feel in that particular way? That is a question. Okay. By the way, neurological factors are there. Music affects the brain reward system. Yeah, of course. But it totally depends what kind of music we are listening. If it's our favorite music, then definitely it will work on that reward system in our brain. And apart from that, yeah, it's a very interesting topic. If like how different regions of the brain actually perceive the music. Apart from that, there are different studies that also happen about the music, like when how different kind of interval, because you know how music actually works. There is a distance in the notes that is giving you that particular feel. Okay, and once that distance is given there, like few intervals, if I will say, there are sounds here. Like if I will play this sound here, I don't know if it's audible or not. Is it audible?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So if I will just play this sound here, it's a very normal, like brightness is there in the sound. But same thing, if I will just change one note from this sound, it will give you a dark feeling. Only by one note, the whole thing is getting changed here. But yeah, and if I will talk about the physiological factors here, then by the way, there is one thing that I wanted to share with you that the music that we generally listen in our daily life on daily basis, that music is more like diatonic music. That music is already decided. We are listening to that music since our childhood, or you can say because music also comes the different forms. There's a chromatic music, there's a polytonal music, there is a diatonic music. Generally, that's why our brain has a capability to understand the music and it can also predict if the music is ending on the right note or not. For example, if I will just play simple music here, um, but if I will play anything out of the family of this particular note, it will your ears will automatically analyze like something is not fitting with the sound. Okay, and that's the reason because we are designed and we are habitual of listening to the music that is only using that particular set of sounds. Otherwise, I had an idea to share the different types of music with you also. I will try to use that, do that. Okay. Improvising with the melodies in the classroom and the way you make the children feel the resolution, of course, because our mind, if our mind can feel where the music is resolving, then of course, like we can make children improvise their own melody, which is something I do in my classroom a lot. Okay. Um, Cultural factors in the music. So how many of you think, how many of you think like music is influenced by the culture also? And how music is influenced by the culture? Like in the beginning, the way sir said that in every culture we have different instruments also. Can anyone relate this thing? Cultural factors?
Yes, when you all go to temple, churches, or like mosque, we have music everywhere around, and like it helps us soothing and it gives a calm feeling basically.
Yes, it gives us a calm feeling. But if I will talk about the culture, then if you will see that like if the way we are using our Hindustani classical music, once you will try to listen to that music, you will automatically understand, yeah, it's something related to the classical, like Hindustani classical. But if I will play any composition that is done by some composer, the Western composer like Beethoven, Chopin, Mozart, you will just listen to that and you will just understand like it is something that is not used in the Hindustani classical style. Okay, that's how we actually perceive the music. Apart from that, cultural factors, yeah, they do matter a lot because generally music can work in dividing the people also,
Mm.
or it can, keep the people together. But if I will ask that how music can keep the people together, how it can unite people, can you answer that?
Yeah, one example is Christmas choir, it comes to my mind. And
Okay, Christmas
when
choir.
you were talking about culture, if you look at historically, when you have wars, they play a
The trumpet
particular
sound.
music which makes you fight with more
Exactly.
gusto.
The music that can,
Yeah.
the uplifting music that can
They
actually,
play a bass music with a very high intensity, and that hits you, so that kind of will recharge you. And a lot of movies
exactly.
and films and poetry, which is written about war and difficult times, will always have an impact on your subconscious.
Yeah, that is actually true. And that is also a
That is the
reason why
culture. That is the culture of Josh, if I may say it in small lack of vocabulary at the last. And then if you see all the African cultures, the Zulus, or even our tribal people in the tribal areas, they have a music for every emotion. So whether it's
exactly.
a marriage, they have a music, whether there's a death, they have music, whether they
Mhm.
celebrate or whether they celebrate the seasons. Now, when I talk of seasons, it takes me back to Lagan. How in Lagan, that movie by Amir Khan, the music worked with the seasons, and how he showed that whether he was playing cricket with his Lagan team, the music was different. When he talks about the barish happening, the music was different. So culture
Correct.
and environment changed the music's intensity right through.
And yeah, it actually matters a lot, like how music works with a different culture, with a different environment. But if I will say that if the movies if the movies don't use any single word, will it be possible for them to express the emotion through the music only?
Yeah, brilliant. Yes, you have cases where music actually plays.
Charlie Chaplin.
Charlie Chaplin, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Charlie
Tom and
Chaplin.
Jerry,
You had
one
silent
of the
movies. Why music? You had silent movies also historically. There
yeah,
was
silent movies are also
there
there.
was a whole era when there was no sound in the music in the movie. So only
Hmm,
the sound technology got integrated much later in movies.
exactly. Okay, so that is actually a very interesting topic to explore, like cultural factors, the background influences, the music preferences, and it also depends on the like in different geographical areas. If I will talk about, like, people have developed their own instrument, like that is a very common in their own region. For example, if we will talk about India, like right now it's a time of a globalization, so instruments are available everywhere. But still, it's quite difficult to find the folk instruments, of instruments that that particularly belongs to that country. For example, there's a friend of mine. He plays rabab. It was super difficult for us to find that rabab in India. We had to get it imported from the Afghanistan, because there is a particular family in Afghanistan who makes the rababs. And I mean, yeah. So it also depends on the geographical area. And if you will talk about the Chinese music, if you have checked the old Chinese movies, then you might have also seen like the music they use behind the action scene, the martial art, because martial art was quite common in their movies. I have seen a lot of martial art is happening. The kind of music they use behind it, that particular they I forgot the name of that instrument. Like it's their folk instrument that produce that particular sound. So let's see why music should be a part of regular education. If I will ask why it should be a part of regular education, because the same reasons should be essential part of regular education, and it offers numerous cognitive, emotional, social benefits. Like, see, if I will ask if you can name any one subject that is using your oral skills, your sight, oral, motor skills, and other physical aspects of your body together at the same time. Can you name any one subject which is making you use so many senses together at the same time?
Mathematics.
Mathematics. And how in mathematics?
See, when you're solving sums,
Mhm.
everything is going to be taken care of. Your musical skills, your writing skills, your cognitive skills, your learning, like all, you name one thing and it can be done with the subject.
But and that thing is actually making a lot of sense to me right now, because once I was just studying about now how harmonies were how people have done the experiment or harmonies, how the melodies, how the scales were developed. It was the name of the Pythagoras. which came first. And then I checked it out. Like most mathematicians were there who actually tried to do the experiment why we are getting this particular emotion with this length of a string. So yeah, I can totally relate to maths right now. This subject is quite related to the maths, and this is something that my violin teacher asked from me. He was a teacher in American Embassy School for 32 years, and 2 years ago he just retired from the school. He asked me this one thing like, Jatin, can you just name any one subject that is making you use your so many senses together at the same time? Because at that time I had to read the sheet music, I had to hear the sound, whatever was written there. That is a very interesting, like that is my favorite thing I will talk. I mean, if I will talk about this thing, this sheet music, which is a gift from the Western culture that I personally feel like that. Because in India also we have a different system of writing the notations. In Western culture, we have a different system of writing the notations. And right now we are just trying to collaborate different cultures together. And I've seen a lot of different musicians are collaborating with the foreign musician. Right now, recent Grammy Award winner, if you will see, she has collaborated with the Jacob Collier. If you know who the Jacob Collier is, one of the amazing musicians like we know right now, multi Grammy awarded, and that woman was also from the Bangalore, Karnataka. She fused her Carnatic vocals with the Western harmonies, and that actually came out like a masterpiece. You can definitely check that out. Jacob Collier, you will definitely find that composition there. Apart from that, yeah. So let's see, it's not only enhances creativity, self-expression, also strengthen other academic skills. If I will ask about the academic skills, then is music teaching you something extra apart from that technicality of the music? What other things you are learning from the music? Like if I will talk only about the instrument, in order to learn a simple instrument, you have to sit with that instrument daily at least 2 to 3 hours. So apart from the instrument, is that teaching you something else?
Patience, resilience.
Yes, of course, patience, resilience. If you don't want to practice your instrument, still you have to sit with it. That is the
Wow.
thing that it will teach you. Okay. Cross-disciplinary connections. Yeah, of course, the way we try to relate the music with the different subjects, it can clearly show like how music is like interdisciplinary connected with different subjects. Okay. Cognitive development, yeah, improves memory, critical thinking. These are the points that are available on the Google also, so it will be totally logical for me if I will discuss about it here. But if I can discuss about the aspects that are more related to the personal experience, okay, and which through which you can also relate. So playing music fosters, yeah, cultural awareness and appreciation. Cultural awareness and appreciation. Any example how music can tell you about the culture of different regions?
Jatin, on Sundays, on second Sunday of every month in my good school, we have a very interesting visitor, Amardeep Singh. And you mentioned Rabab today. So he is narrating Guru Nanak's travels across 9 countries. And every docu-series of his is very rich with music because Guru Nanak was music more than anything else. And with Mardana playing the Rabab, he walked across 9 countries. So we do this every second Sunday of the month at my good school. And we find those sessions absolutely fascinating. And what children learn from those sessions is not just about, like we said, music and maths. We learn about geography, we learn about history, we learn about culture. When we play those odes and these readings from the Guru Bani, which he sings, and these go across languages. So you will find music coming from Urdu, from any possible language and culture. And Guru Nanak is one person who sings perhaps all the Indic saints. So that's the beauty how music connects cultures. And Guru Nanak is a very fine example of oneness in terms of learning, joy, reading from religions, really bringing cultures together. So today's session, when you talked about cultures and you talked about Rabab, it took me back to our Sunday sessions, which we have in my good school every second Sunday.
That's really nice. Like I would like to join those sessions also.
Yeah, come second Sunday. It's Amardeep comes
Second
every
Sunday.
second Sunday, and Manisha will send you a message. Come for that session.
Yes, yes.
Meenakshi has a hand.
I will definitely look forward to attend that session.
Yeah,
Okay.
Meenakshi.
But if yes, yes, sir, please.
See, music and how it connects us culturally is like every culture has its own music for every occasion. Now, through that music, we come to know how people celebrate, what are the things that people celebrate, what are the things that they are not so happy about. That is there. So we come to know about that culture whenever we listen to that music. It's not necessary that we should know the words, but the way it is presented, the tone in which it is presented, we understand that. That is one part of it. The second part is, if you like music, like I think most people who like music, they may listen to what we call Western music, okay, and and Indian music as well. So that also makes us connect with each other. Like I think quite a few of us would remember By the Rivers of Babylon, or any of these, so many others, like K Sera Sera, whatever will be. It gives us an insight to the culture of those people. Okay, it's not as if you know it's as if only our culture, my culture, is the best. Then you realize, okay, there are things about the other culture which is equally good if you listen to the song Hey
Exactly.
Sarah, Sarah, and all those things. So the connection is always there. Music and culture is always connected. Where, okay, one is, of course, it's all about uh, uh, what should I say, aesthetics of sounds. Okay, that's of course there. But there are other things as well which connects it to culture.
Okay. Yeah, the connection with the music is always there because as a human being, we all are connected to the music in some form. But if I will ask, can music divide us?
Yes, it can. It can.
Oh,
It can. If I mean, if we start using music to propagate something which which can break people, like for example, propagating war, for example. Okay, so then it can divide us. If, or for example, the brand jingles that we have. Okay, so that can also divide people, right? So it's not. Sometimes it can, but it depends on the.
the
I
way
mean,
we are
it
using
depends
this
on the
medium.
people how we want to, how we interpret music. That's it. But it
Okay.
can.
Someone has written reflecting community values, history, beliefs. Yeah, of course, reflecting community values, history. Yeah. If you're learning the music, then it's a suggestion that I would like to share. Always try to see the era from which the music is coming. Because that was really an interesting topic for me when I was studying my piano. In my piano studies, it was the different eras that I had to study, like the Renaissance, then Baroque era, then Romantic era, then Classical era. And
See,
it actually shows how the life of people was at that time.
music has developed just the way literature has developed over a period of
Exactly.
time, just like science has developed over a period of time,
Yeah, it's a part of
just like math
evolution.
has. So everything has developed over a period of time. So yes,
And
that's,
the specific, okay, another message, the specific melodies, rhythms, and instruments used in culture, music often reflects its unique soundscape, worldview. Okay, what is the meaning of soundscape here? Have you all heard this term before? Soundscape. What soundscape really is? Okay, if I will talk about the soundscape, then we all are familiar with the term landscape. We all have heard this term before. Landscape, the drawing subject. We all have seen it. And if we talk about the landscape, yeah, definitely we were supposed to draw something that is related to the land, and there can be a lot of things that can be made, like the mountain, the beach. Okay, the same thing happened with the soundscape also, but right, this time you are actually using the sound. And the very good example I can give you, but at the end, you can sound is something in the soundscape. Generally, it is if you are not combining that sound with any kind of video or any kind of picture, then you actually have to think like where that sound is taking you. And the best example I can give for it is the interstellar music. If you have seen the movie Interstellar, if you know the way Hans Zimmer has designed the soundscape, it like you will need to think while keeping your eyes closed, like where that music is taking you mentally, and it's quite relaxing also. But there are a lot of suspicious sound that he has used in that. Okay, a piece of music considered in the terms of of its component sounds is lush keyboard soundscape. Yeah, component sounds. Okay, enhances academic achievement. Yeah, of course, because apart from learning any technical aspect of instrument, you are actually learning a lot of things subconsciously that we already discussed. Okay. Apart from that, cross-disciplinary connections. Yes, music and language, if we'll try to relate music with any language subject, because music, generally, there are a lot of music educators who have done a lot of good contribution. One is the Aura, another is the Kotlai. Kotlai has developed his own system in the music to teach the beats, to teach the rhythm in the most interesting manner. The Suzuki method of the music. Suzuki method, one of the famous methods to teach the children. But one thing was common in every method. That method was nurtured by love instead of teaching the technical aspect. Because when the child is born, we know how the speech thing is developed. Like we are not teaching any child the grammar first. The child starts learning the language by seeing the people around. Okay, the same thing happens with the music, and that's how they wanted to treat the music, totally like a language. Okay, singing in different languages, of course, different languages and linguistic patterns. It helps with that. Rhythms and rhymes in music support literacy development. Yeah, this thing, something, music and maths. Okay, perfect. So music and maths, the way we have discussed initially, like how many senses we are actually using in the maths, and the same thing is happening with the music. And one aspect with the music that you can totally relate is like a rhythm in the music, intervals and rhythm. So, what is a rhythm? By the way, can anyone tell me what is a rhythm in the music? What is the meaning of a rhythm? Generally, if I will talk about music, then there are three most important elements in the music. One is the melody, then the rhythm, then the harmony. If I will talk about the rhythm, then what rhythm really is? Rhythm is like how the music is moving, how it's
Yes.
moving, like what is the
The
movement of the music.
repetition of sounds can maybe we can say that the pattern or repetition of patterns of sound.
Rhythm can be a repetition of a pattern, but it can be something else also because there are a lot of different compositions in which the repetition is not there. If you will see the jazz and the bebop, the rhythm is quite tight, but no repetition is there. If anything will be repeated there, they will consider that the musician has a very less vocabulary to produce music. That's how that music works like. So, by the way, yeah, rhythm is how your music is moving, how fast, how slow, in what manner. That's why we have different rhythms according to the different cultures also. And Africa is quite famous for their rhythmic stuff. And if you, yeah, movement, yes, Isha, it's like movement. So movement of sound. If I will only say, if you will remove the sound here, then still it's a movement of music because right now, if I will clap here, it is just a sound, but it is not a musical sound. So movement of a sound, but what kind of sound you are talking about, that also matters a lot here. Yeah, so the way your sound is moving, the way the music is moving is the rhythm. And generally, why I said that Africa is quite famous for it because in my drum study, there was a book, Passport to Cuba, where the Cuban music was, I mean, lot of Cuban rhythms were there. Then there was a part in the history also, like how Africa is quite famous for it. And still, I can just try to include this topic in my next session. But for now, um, let me just try to finish this here because few more things are left. Okay. Um, by the way, I didn't finish that thing. Rhythm and meter. Yeah. So if you all know about the rhythm, then rhythm is directly connected to the maths. Rhythm is a part of a maths in the music, and people actually consider it as a mathematical part of a music. Right now, rhythm cannot be a problem if it is simple, but there are different types of rhythm. There is simple, there is a compound rhythm, there is a polyrhythm. Polyrhythm is means like you are combining different time signatures, but that will be a technical part of it, which is totally not the part of today's session. So, analyzing the structure of the symphony can teach concepts of symmetry. Yes, there are a lot of things that we have to analyze if they are going in a symmetry, and that this is something we ask from a student, like, can you analyze a pattern in a music, or what is a movement? Is that a polyphonic music? Is that a parallel? Are the melodies going parallel or contrary? These are the terms that we use with it. But apart from that, um, music and history, music and science, yeah, we all discussed about it before. But music and visual arts, I've seen a lot of people who are just trying to. There was a friend of mine also. His name was Anshul. He went to NID a few years ago. So he used to tell me the way he used to make the drawings, like putting the headphones on and whatever is just coming through the in the form of a sound. He just tried to relate the colors with it, and this is actually something very interesting, like colors, adding colors to your tone. Is there anyone in the panel who treat the sound like a color? Who treat the musical chords like a color? Like every chord has its color. There is some sadness in the color also. There is some sadness in some combination of a sound also. Yeah.
The fountains, I mean, the color, which is the way it is arranged. Okay, goes according to the crescendo of the music. So that I think is an example of color and music together.
I have never heard about those fountains, but definitely after this session, I am just going to check that out. Musical fountains
You
look like
have
a
it early on. It was in Japan, but I've seen it in Calcutta also recently near the Victoria Memorial. Not recently; it's quite a few years now. But yeah, so it's there.
Okay, initially I just wanted to share this one thought also, like this one thing that I actually wanted to share, like why it's really important to think about what we are actually listening in the music and why the music education should be promoted. I actually wanted to share this thing. I mean, you all are quite elder to me, and I know that a lot of people have already given it a thought to it. But yeah, there were few things that I had written yesterday night before planning of the introduction of a session. So right now, I can before ending the session, I just wanted to I would like to share that thing also. So just give me a second. Yeah, why the musical practices should be a part of a regular curriculum. If we will see at the micro level, then it's just a music. That is just a skill that a child is learning. But right now, if you will look at the macro level, then through this thing only, you can consider developing an audience who can appreciate a music that can have some good meaning. Because right now, if you will look at the industry or whatever is happening in the music, no, I'm not just saying that every artist is doing that, but the industry that is doing this thing on a very major scale, they are generally targeting the things that can go viral. Okay, without taking the accountability, like what kind of content they are sharing, what kind of content is consumed by the people of the particular country or a place. So yeah, developing the audience, that was the one main factor that I considered, and I just given it a thought a little bit. And many songs gain popularity, often prioritize trends and commercial success over artistic integrity. Regardless of lyrics or content suitability for different age groups, the focus remains on achieving mass appeal only. And that was and by keeping this thing in mind, I just wanted to I want to design a kind of a workshop where, apart from appreciating the music, we can actually know how the music works a little bit. I know majority of the people who have joined here are not from a musical background, but I know that ultimately we all are connected with this thing in some way or other. Okay, so this is what I can share for today, and I really want to know like the feedback. Of course, I would like to ask. Apart from that, like what content would you like to have for the next class? Because for now, my main purpose was to just show the different aspects in the music, like how it can be used, what are the different aspects.